Welcome.
Thank you.
Obama administration?
Obama administration,
So this is going back maybe 10 years or so?
About that,
A
yeah.
much, I would say, how we describe the U.S.-China tone back then. Certainly not what it is now.
Certainly not. So my last foreign trip as a Obama administration Treasury official was to an APEC Finance Committee ministers meeting in Beijing. And a lot has changed since then, right? I mean, you've got spy balloons, you've got the theft or alleged theft of technology and innovation from American companies. You've got China's continued intimidation of its citizens in the U.S. and around the world. But it is so important for Secretary Yellen to have this dialogue. It must be constructive and it's got to be honest. And I've got, three things that I hope she talks about when she's there. The first is she's got to continue to put national security and the national security of the interests of the United States first. She also has to talk about the need for China to have a level playing field for American companies. And then thirdly, there's got to be a sense of what are the areas of common ground that she and her Chinese counterpart can have. Is it issues related to climate change? Is it issues related to the forgiving debt for some of the emerging countries? All of that type of stuff.
So she probably shouldn't call him a dictator right off the bat, probably, right?
She should not do that. So let me weigh in on this if I can, John. She should absolutely not call him a dictator. I will say this about the president's use of that word. He shouldn't have said it, but actions matter more than words. And what the administration would say here is that the actions that the People's Republic of China has taken against U.S. companies are far more damaging than some off-the-cuff ad-libs that President Biden has done.
But I also wonder, there's an advantage to appearing tough on China.
Right.
Right? And as we get closer and closer to next year, that sort of need grows. So what can Yellen really accomplish here when China feels like we're trying to contain them and we're inching ever closer to a Cold War type setup like we had with the USSR, a generation or two ago?
Yeah, so dialogue is important. But what's also important here is the economies. These two, China and America, are the world's two largest economies. Our futures are intertwined with each other. And so constructive conversation matters. She's got to be direct. She's got to be clear. She's got to continue to put the national security of the interests first. And she cannot waver on that. And I don't expect her to.
Should we almost say the stakes for the trip aren't that high? I mean, I think the feeling with Blinken in his 35-minute meeting or what have you is that it was a lot of effort, a lot of hoopla, but not much happened. What do you think are the most significant actions that could now take place between the U.S. and China? Are we trying to warm things up, get the militaries talking, look for a thaw? Are we trying to take a tough... I'm not even sure what the goal is.
Right. So I think the most important step to come out of our ongoing relationship between PRC and the United States are going to be these reverse CFIUS rules. That's what...
Reverse?
Reverse CFIUS.
Oh, you mean if we impose that?
Right,
yeah.
right. And so I've talked to a lot of people in Washington. What we do know is that the Treasury Department has spent a lot of time talking to private industry, talking to private funds who have investments in PRC, and trying to figure out, this is the Treasury Department trying to figure out what are the narrowly tailored rules that are appropriate in specific sectors that can safeguard U.S. national security. Semiconductor and AI related efforts in that space are where I think these rules are going to land.
It's a clear decoupling. It's a clear sort of, there will be less, cross-border investment between these two countries going forward.
To an extent, this is why the details matter. The devil is absolutely in the details on this. And I think what I've seen from this Treasury Department, from this administration, is a recognition of the importance of a robust economic exchange with China, but understanding the importance that we do have important American values that we are going to stand up for, and there is no backing down from that.
All right. Anthony Coley, thanks for joining us today.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate your time, and welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you along.
Yeah.